I'm Dan Morris, you're watching Boasting Dan Bushcraft, and today we're having a look at yet another type of trap. Doing sort of a series on traps with the channel at the moment, so I thought why not continue where we've started, get some more traps nailed out. Now this one's another simple trap, and it is in fact a bird trap. Now it is also, every time I hit record, car. It is also another trap where I don't actually have a name for it. It's just an idea I've seen and I've no idea what to call it. So at some point I'm just going to make the name up for it. Either way, this trap works on gravity as opposed to spring power or anything like that. So maybe I should call it the gravity bird trap or something like that. Anyhow, we'll get on with it. You don't really need much more for this trap other than the good old Swiss Army knife and some string. Just ignore the presence of this tiny motorcycle for the moment. She will be featuring in some upcoming videos, but she's just brought me here today as I've just done some tinkerage and stuff like that. But we'll discuss your story another time, Sally. Anyway, let's get on with this trapping guy. So this is a trap that's going to use gravity to activate it. It's going to use gravity to activate this trap. Now, it is a bird trap, so the best place to do this is in a tree. And a nice living stick on the side of a tree will be ideal for what we're going to do. However, just a quick note on traps and trapping. A lot of the bushcraft traps are illegal to use in the UK with some exceptions. I know there are some live trap means that are perfectly legitimate to use. For the most part, though, a lot of them aren't. You would have to check your local laws and bylaws before you use them, but I am looking at this more of as a survival point of view. And on the note of survival points of view and stuff like that, I'm just demonstrating these. Don't do what I've just done. Don't be rubbing your hand all over the things and sticks that you're going to use. If you can, just wash your hands with some fresh water. If you've got gloves, wear them. A lot of animals are really sensitive to the scents that we give off and will scarper as soon as they pick up on that. So first things first, I need a hole all the way through there. You'll see why in a bit. So I'm going to use the drill bit on my little red Swiss Army knife. Had this damn thing since I was 8 years old, and it's still going. It's still one of my favourite knives to use. I still use it all the time. I mean, look at the little blade on it. It's pretty much polished down to a scalpel from all the years of sharpening. But anywho, this thing on the back of your Swiss Army knives, it does have a few different uses, but one of its best uses is it is in fact a drill bit. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is use this, and I'm just going to start working it through the stick there. What I'll do, just shave this knot off, just so I've got a bit better room. Right, and we'll just drill straight through. So there we have our hole all the way through there. I've just cleaned up the front face of it to reduce friction later on. You'll see why in a minute. Now I need the rock, so over to pinch a bit of rock off the dry stone wall. I'll put it back when I've done with it. Now all I need to do is attach my rock. This one's got quite a nice curvy shape in it. Attach my rock to a piece of string. Now I'm using tarred bank line again, mainly just because that's what's in the bag. To be honest though, if I was making this trap in reality, in which case once set the trap would have to sit for a while waiting to attract its victim. In which case, because this tarred bank line remains somewhat slightly sticky and grippy, it may well not actually be the best choice of string. You might be better with something not tarred so that it doesn't stick to the mechanism we're going to make. But this is what I've got today, so this is what I'm using. So we'll just prop this rock up out the way, put my string through my owl, make sure that the hole you make is really, really good and clean. You don't want it full of fluff and stuff. What you're trying to do is, and like I said, this trap is based loosely on friction, but it's gravity that actually activates it. So you don't want massive amounts of otherwise friction, other than the friction you're going to create with the bait stick that I'm going to show you in just a minute. And as usual, we're going to need another stick. So tree choice is crucial here, because as you can see, this tree's got a lovely rock holder, so I've got somewhere to work without all my things falling about all over the place. Now what I'm going to do, clean this stick up a bit. Right. Now this is the so-called clever bit, because what I need to do is make quite a blunt point on this end of it to plug that hole up. You don't want your point too sharp, because if you do, it'll go in too far, and again that'll just add more friction into the system, and you don't want that. That's not quite how this works. So I'm going to make quite a blunt point, quite rounded. Let's just see if that fits in the hole. Yeah, it might just do it. And having that shape on it, Luke. So I've got quite a blunt plug at the top, and then just a little flat shape on what's going to be the bottom. Makes sense, hopefully. So pop that stick in my pocket for a minute. Now, here's where we need to make some form of snare, because this trap is actually going to catch our bird, or potentially squirrel, with a snare. There we have it, quite a nice loose moving snare. Now this is where it gets potentially clever, or at least that's the hope. So get your rope through there, so that you can, enough rope through so you can make your snare the size that you want. Stick, blunt end first, into that hole with the little flat bits that you carved at the one side, downwards onto the rope, right? Hold that, and then now, delicately, let the weight of your rock onto it. See how that's holding? Yeah? Rock's there. Don't know if we can see the rock. Can we see the rock swinging away? There's the rock. Lovely. There's the stick. I'll show you this at a different angle. Right. So, tidy up after myself. There's a bit of bank line I've dropped on the floor there. We've got sticks holding all of that weight in place. And you can see now why I said bank line. Tarred bank line's probably not the best thing, because it's a bit grippy. And what I'm going to do, make that snare nice and big and balance it on the stick like that. Now these can be scaled up a little bit for squirrel. Doesn't just have to be birds. They can be scaled up for squirrel and other things. This system will work on the ground to catch things by the leg, depending on what sort of animals you're going after. You could also use it to make rabbit snares. This would be a legitimate rabbit snare as long as it has a stopper so that it doesn't actually choke the rabbit to death. In the UK you're allowed to snare them, but you're not allowed to have the snare kill them. Seems a bit silly to me, but I don't make the rules. Anywho, you can scale it up, play with it, move it around, use different chords and stuff, and you could bait the stick, but you don't need to sometimes. Depends where you put it. If you get it near a roosting site, you won't need to do that. Anyway, the idea is, birdie sees whatever it is, comes in, lands on that stick, dislodges it from the hole, weight drops, and it snares it. Let's see how effective that is. So, little birdie comes in, sits on the stick drops, the snare missed my hand. So perhaps there's we need to set it in a better fashion there, I think. Where's my stick gone? Plug that up. There we go, flat end down. Right, let's try that again. Comes in on the stick, takes the stick out. Aha! Success. I've caught myself. Now, as with all of these traps, the reality of it is you have to really play around and find what makes it more sensitive. So let's try putting the stick under the rope as opposed to on the top of it. Now I can feel that's sensitive. Now lay the snare. Ooh, that is quite light. Let's try again. Ah, oh, got me. Now, this got myself. This wouldn't be a favourite trap of mine because it catches the bird by the legs and it's going to be painful. And it's not going to kill it, but it's just going to be like garroted on the legs. Not a pleasant trap at all. Ow, that actually is hurting my fingers with just the weight of the rock. So if you were a bird with tiny little skinny birdie legs, that would hurt considerably badly, especially if you don't come back to it for a while and you don't see it. It's not a pleasant way to catch a bird. However, this is a survival trap. And let's be honest, if we were stuck somewhere and starving to death, we're not going to be too concerned about humanitarian problems or making, well, it's probably not the right word, but you know what I mean. We're not going to be too bothered about perfectly clean kills and stuff like that. That's just the way of it if you were stuck in a situation. Now, the thing I would say with this trap, it would probably work better with dead wood all around so that it's not quite as grippy. And like I say, the tarred bank line is a little bit too on the grippy side for my taste. Do you know, I'm actually wondering if there isn't a better way of doing this all around anyway. Let's experiment. Right. Okay. Right, so what I'm gonna have to do is release the rock. And I've got an idea. I've got a good idea. I think it's a working idea, but it won't fit through the hole anymore. So what I'm gonna do, and this is the thing, whenever you build a trap, you've got to check it constantly. Like test it, make sure it works before you just walk off and leave it, or you're never gonna catch anything. And obviously, if you were stuck somewhere and you were desperately hunting food, you need your trap to work every single time. And obviously with these sorts of traps, the good thing is they're reusable. They're not a build once thing. So it's worth putting the effort in and making them as functional and as smooth as you can get them. That way you're more likely to catch something, but you might as well put the effort in because it's going to be used over and over and over. That is much more sensitive. Right, I'll talk you through what I've just done. Right, so as we seem to do every time on this channel when we're doing traps and things, I have just improved this trap. I've just dramatically increased its effectiveness and, more importantly, trigger sensitivity. And how did I do that, I hear you cry? Well, I employed some of the techniques that we've used so far on the other traps in this series. That is reducing friction, or at least, or more accurately, putting the friction somewhere else. Because obviously the more friction on the trigger stick, the less likely it is to go off. So what I've done is drilled the hole through a bit cleaner, made it a bit bigger, so that a little tiny knot fits through it. Because this little tiny knot is going to take a load of that friction away for us, because the knot is going to get trapped on the edge here where your hole is, like this. Now that knot takes up a bit of friction and takes it away off that stick, so you can put your stick in now and it should be a bit more of a gentle process. Lovely. Now you can feel the sort of friction you've got on that. Excellent. You can change your shape a lot at the end of this stick as well, that'll help all over. But wiggle it about a bit, play with it. So sensitive now, and you can feel the sensitivity in that, because this stick is no longer holding the whole weight of that string and rock, which it was before. Now that that little knot's there, and that's just acting as a bit of a stopper against the hole to stop it putting all of that weight into the stick. Now that's stable and solid, it's not moving, and that is very, very light. So we stretch out our snare again, lay it on the stick, bait what have you, birdie comes in, got it. That easy, and there was no weight in that stick whatsoever, and that was really, really light. We'll just do it once more. So like I say, let your knot just touch. Shape, flat piece seems to work happier when it's up. Knot's locked in place. You can feel your sensitivity. That's a bit much. Oh, that's absolutely nothing. Woo. Right, that's all set, very sensitive. Stop me rock swinging. That won't help. Lovely. So this one, the reason for the break in the film in there is I've just left it to sit for a little while just to see if it stays sensitive. Like I say, tarred bank line's not the best choice for this because it's sticky. Anyway, that is, oh, that's so, whoa! Oh, it missed me fingers, but I'm not a birdie. But it went off real easy, that did. I'm going to try it once more just because I missed my own finger. It really is a bit like I say, always experiment with these, play with them a lot, because I'm finding, I always thought this one would be very grippy and wouldn't be a very sensitive trigger, but if you play with it, if you don't just go off what it says in the books and just jam a stick in a hole holding the rope, play with it and find the most sensitivity you can get is the best way to do it. If you just blankly follow a picture, it's not going to work right. Huh. Lovely. In comes the birdie, flutter, flutter, flutter. Woo! Ah! Got him. That works really quite well, to be fair, with a few modifications. But as always, and as we always do on this channel, we modify things to make it better. And this is, you know, this is the truth. If you was just blankly making traps that you've seen on videos, or if you've seen on, you know, in survival books and things like that, they're not going to work right, because one of the things that they cannot describe in a book, or even particularly in a video, is exactly how they've done it every time. Now, all the different materials you're going to use, different woods and everything, they're all going to have different friction rates and all sorts of infinitesimally crazy little annoyances like that that aren't going to match on the day. Test them, play with them, fiddle with them, make sure that you've got the sensitivity right, make sure you've got it working. I'm gonna have to take my hand out of that. Ah, it's not very comfortable, but it is effective. It works. I don't need this rock now, as that is all for this trap. So I'm going to return this to the dry stone wall over there. So as always, guys, get yourselves out there, get bushcrafting, get having fun, get working on crazy trap mechanisms. Feel free to send me any if you want to see me do something. Please like and subscribe, tell your friends, bully your cousins into subscribing. I don't know, leave Bosun Dan Bushcraft stickers everywhere you go. Above all, be safe, get practicing your trap systems, trigger systems, and get learning how to make them extra specially sensitive. But that is Bosun Dan out.